boosting AI studies to help students land work after graduation. Fox Business correspondent Kelly Saberi reports live from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Kelly.
Hi, Molly. This is the oldest public school in the country, and now it's going all in on artificial intelligence. To keep students at the top of their game, they're combining two existing schools into one artificial intelligence-centric school. And this is top of mind for Chancellor Lee Roberts, who's trying to maintain the school's title as the best value in public education, an accolade the school has received over 20 years. Listen to this.
I don't think AI is going to replace humans, but humans who understand how to use AI are going to do better than humans who do not understand how to use AI. The challenge is that it's changing so rapidly. It's a moving target, but I think Carolina is up to the task.
The average cost of the country's top 5 public schools' educations is about $17,000 for in-state students, up 35% from 10 years ago. Tuition is almost $56,000 for those coming in from another state. And companies are replacing some entry-level roles with automation, other companies trimming their org charts. So students need to be ready to jump into higher-level roles.
If we're doing our jobs right, we're preparing students for their entire career, not just for that first job out of college.
Now, this all comes, as the Bureau of Labor Statistics says, through 2030, about 60% of jobs will not require a bachelor's degree. Back to you.
Whoa, Kelly Saberi, thank you very much. Some fascinating work down there. They're bringing the kids up to speed.
That's great.
Run circles around me, no
Great
doubt.
place to do it, too. Chapel Hill, great place to go to school.
Absolutely beautiful.
Lovely part of the world. Hey, thank you very much for joining us, and thank you very much for coming down from Boston on short notice to join us this afternoon. Really appreciate it.
Quick little hop of a flight. Worked out great. I'm Molly Line. I was in for Sandra Smith. Be sure to follow our social media as well.
The story with Martha starts right now. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much, John and Molly. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, and this is the story. So this is the quote: refuse illegal orders. That's the message from a handful of powerful Democrats, all with military or intelligence backgrounds, who want service members to know their rights, they say, when it comes to strikes that they deem unlawful.
This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
All right, so the world's largest aircraft carrier is now stationed in the Caribbean as part of Operation Southern Spear. The U.S. military has targeted 21 suspected drug boats, killing at least 82 alleged smugglers. Tommy Lahren is here, but first to one of the Democrats in that video, Colorado Congressman Jason Crow, former Army Ranger and Bronze Star recipient. Thank you very much, Congressman, for joining us today. You see some of the pushback to this video when some look at it and say, you know, if you are in the United States military, you sign up, you carry out the mission that is assigned to you. You know, the other option is to not join the military or to leave if you feel that you can't carry out an order. But the command is just an integral part of what you sign up for, which you know way better than I do, and I thank you for your service. So, Congressman, thank you for being here. Why did you participate in this video?
Martha, we're standing by our troops, our service members who are often put in very difficult positions, and Donald Trump has put them in very difficult positions and has alluded to putting them in even more difficult positions in the months and years ahead. So we are reminding folks about what the Uniform Code of Military Justice says, what the Constitution says, what the law of war says. You know, this is really no different than what I did with my infantry platoon in advance of deploying to Iraq in 2003. I trained these young soldiers on their obligation to comply with the law of war, to comply with the Constitution, and what is a lawful versus a unlawful order.
What law are you talking about that's being broken? And then you said that he's implying that he might do something that they wouldn't want to uphold or follow through with in the future. What are you talking about specifically?
Yeah, I appreciate you asking. Well, number one, the protests at Lafayette Square in the first Trump administration where he said, can't you just shoot them? Can't you just shoot them in the legs or something? That's his direct quote. And of course, the then chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
That was not a
pushed back on
military
that.
order. That was a comment. That's not a military order.
When that's coming from the President of the United States to your generals, don't you think that's a request? That's
I'm
a question?
asking specifically right now what you're talking about.
Yeah, number two, he's also threatened to send the military into Chicago and other cities to, quote, go to war with those cities. Right? That is a very, very disturbing thing. Number three, he's also alluded to sending troops to polling stations, which is actually a violation of U.S. law. U.S. criminal law prohibits troops from going to polling stations, and he's alluded to that. So those are just one of many examples.
You're talking about
Donald Trump
illusions. You're not talking about actual policy. You're not talking about things that our members of our service members who we revere and respect are actually being asked to do. So when you see this video on all over the place, when you see this video on social media, I think a lot of people scratch their heads and they say, what exactly are they talking about? Are they talking about
Martha,
not allowing gunboats to make it to the United States carrying drugs? Is that what you're talking about?
Martha, here's a novel idea. How about we actually prevent things from happening before they become a problem?
I think that's what they're trying to do.
What you're saying is we have to wait until there's a problem to respond to that problem.
No, I'm not.
Right? As a military officer, what I think is important is we train people, we give them information, we prepare people for challenges coming down the pike. That is what I did as a commander in the military. That's what I'm doing now, as we are standing by our troops. We are reminding them of their obligation.
That we are asking our military to carry out, are you objecting to? This is very, very vague. And it was so vague in this video, I don't think people could figure out what you guys were all talking about, honestly.
Martha, Donald Trump has made a series of very disturbing comments and suggestions that would violate U.S. law and put our military in terrible positions.
Again, we're getting nowhere because you're not talking about an order.
I don't want to wait until that happens to remind our troops of their obligation because then it will be too late. We are standing by our troops and our amazing men and women in uniform to remind them
who sign up every day as you did to carry out the orders of the commander-in-chief. We are not engaged in new wars. We have no troops on the ground in Ukraine except some who were training pilot missions, not on any front lines of any kind. In the Caribbean right now, we've sent a carrier there. I thought these were the specific operations that are actually happening that you might be referring to. But we've created a huge presence in the Caribbean to stop fentanyl deaths, of which there were more than 48,000 plus in the last year alone. And the president doesn't want those drugs to make it to the United States. But you're not talking about any of these actual actions that have been carried out by the commander-in-chief and by the Department of Defense?
First of all, that is a separate issue. We are not talking about Venezuela at all in this video. We never mentioned it once.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
But since you raised it, I actually am deeply concerned. We spent $3 trillion, 7,000 U.S. lives, hundreds of thousands of other lives in endless wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They ended extremely poorly because we stopped debating it. We stopped paying for it. We stopped being held accountable for it.
Yeah.
Well, that was Republicans
I don't remember you making a video about that at the time.
Actually, you should look it up. I did make videos about it, as a matter of fact. I pushed back on Joe Biden. I pushed back on Donald Trump. I pushed back on Barack Obama. I pushed back on George W. Bush because I had to fight those wars.
But at least that was something specific.
And I am thinking very clearly about the men and women who are being put into positions that, once again, without congressional authorization, without public debate, to do the same thing. Have we learned nothing about the last 25 years of war and endless conflict?
What this president has said is that he has not taken us to war, that he wants to prevent war, that he wants to extract us from situations where we've said from the beginning that we won't have any boots on the ground
bombing
in Ukraine.
Iran,
So I think
bombing
it's a little
the Houthis, bombing boats in the Caribbean. This president doesn't see a problem.
So we aided a mission by Israel in Iran. Did you have a problem with taking out Iranian nuclear facilities?
We've seen more conflict and more use in the military in the first 11 months of this administration than we have in any administration. What needs to happen is they need to come to Congress, and we need to debate this. And for him to say there's no new war, that's exactly the problem, because only Congress can declare a war. Only Congress, according to our Constitution, has the authority to send our men and women into conflict.
We understand the War Powers Act. We know how it works.
Well, apparently you don't, because you're saying that no war exists, so it's not a problem. The United States Congress is the one that has to make that decision.
Specifically what your issue is. And so for prominent members of the United States Congress to tell young men and women of the military that they should not abide by illegal orders and to leave it so vague and to talk about comments that have been made in the past and what they might lead to, I think could potentially be very confusing for young men and women who have committed to service, which you honorably did, and I commend you for the sacrifice that you made. Let me just show you this. This is Senator Eric Schmidt.
I'm going to respond to that.
Go ahead.
Military service is tough. It's really tough.
I don't doubt it.
We send our men and women into very difficult, very sometimes untenable situations. I know that. I've been in those situations. That's why moral clarity, that's why reminding people about what their obligations are, that's why abiding by the law and providing guidance and training them in advance is important. You can never wait until there's a problem to train people and prepare them for that.
Well,
it's really important that we set the conditions right now to make sure that people understand their constitutional obligations. And we are only talking about unlawful orders versus lawful orders.
Right.
That is the
you just haven't
distinction.
Outlined what any specific unlawful order. This is Senator Eric Schmidt that he released on X. This is what he said. At the end of the day, he's speaking about the members of Congress who did this video. They're mad at the American people that the American people chose Trump, and now they're calling on the military and intelligence community to intervene. Sounds a little, quote, subversive to democracy-ish, says Senator Eric Schmidt. So let me give you a moment to respond to that, Congressman.
Yeah, I mean, that's so patently false and absurd, I don't even know how to respond to it. What we are doing is reminding people of their obligations under federal law and under the UCMJ in no different way than I did when I was an infantry officer and an infantry lieutenant preparing my soldiers to be deployed. It is as simple as that. So people, you know, that's unfortunate that in politics these days, people grab something and twist it and contort it and lie
Some might say that
make it into
you have
something
grabbed
it's
something
not.
and twisted it and contorted it. You have, you know, you're talking to young members of the American military, and you're not telling them specifically what it is they should see as illegal. So you're putting ideas into their head that maybe they're being asked to do something illegal, and what we're seeing actually is recruitment rising and people wanting to join the military under the president.
Here's an interesting fact for you, Martha. Our men and women actually are very smart, very incredible men and women in our military. And
you don't
a
have
recent
to tell me
survey,
that.
Well, apparently I do.
No,
a
you
recent
don't,
survey
sir. I have
actually
great
polled
respect
them,
for the United States military.
Well, you know, you don't think they can handle a reminder about federal law and the UCMJ is what I'm hearing. And a recent survey showed that 8 out of 10 service members deeply understand their obligation of lawful orders, right? 8 out of 10. So we want to get that. That should be 10 out of 10. But this is something that they're trained on. You know, go and look at the training. You know, maybe even go and participate or observe some of the training that our men and women go through. It is incredible. We expect a lot of these men and women. They go through very intense, rigorous training because they're put in intense, rigorous positions. And frankly, I bristle at the notion that they can't handle a suggestion or a reminder of what the law requires them to do and what the Constitution requires them to do. You actually disparage them when you say that a simple reminder is something they cannot handle.
You're wrong. You're 100% wrong. I didn't disparage them in any way. In fact, I give them enormous credit.
You don't think they can handle reminders about their legal obligations?
I think
these
perhaps
men and women certainly
if it was
handle it.
specific and they could figure out what order you're referring to, I have the most deep respect for everyone who serves in the military, including you, sir, for the sacrifice that you made. I did not make that sacrifice myself, so I put everyone who makes that sacrifice in a very special place in my heart. And I believe they're there to serve the country. So you have put out this video. It's getting a lot of attention. I thank you for joining me to talk about it. And I think, you know, people can look at it and take away from it what they want. I just wanted to give you an opportunity to be specific about what illegal actions you were referring to. So thank you for being here, Congressman, and thank you again for your service. All right, let's bring in for reaction to that discussion, Tommy Lahren, co-host of The Big Weekend Show. Tommy, good to see you. I was hoping for some more specifics on what these members of Congress were referring to As you saw, we got a lot of vague references to things that had been suggested or implied by the president, not specific actions or orders that they feel are illegal and should be rejected.
Martha, like you, I am very perplexed, not only by the video, but by that interview. I'm also a little bit shocked and taken aback that the congressman would be willing to embarrass himself, not only on the air, but also with that video and put a stain on his own service, which, as you mentioned, is so noble, in order to fulfill what seems to be a very deep sense of Trump derangement syndrome. And like you, I thought perhaps when they put out this video, perhaps they were referring to some of the efforts to take out narco-terrorists. While I disagree with that, I thought perhaps that's what this video is referring to. But I was also very shocked that the congressman didn't seem to be alluding to that at all. He was talking about mean tweets and comments that the president made in various times throughout the last 10 years. So again, I don't think he did himself and his cause any favors with that interview, and certainly not with that video that the various members and various senators and representatives put out. I share your concerns that he's going to send a message to our military members that is incoherent, and he definitely did not do a good job of outlining these so-called unlawful orders that are being handed down. I am befuddled.
Yeah, I think our members of our military are probably too smart to fall for that. I think they would ask the same question. What illegal order are you referring to? Which operation are you referring to? And as you say, and as our viewers just watched, we gave him every opportunity. And I also thought that they must be referring, I guess, to, perhaps the National Guard operations that are controversial, or the Caribbean operation that is controversial, but apparently not. So, the door's open if someone wants to come on who is also on that video and explain more specifically exactly what they're talking about and what they're warning our members of the military who, as I said, I think are pretty too wise probably to fall for that and would ask the same question. Tommy, thank you very much. It's always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Folks have been asking why beef from Riverbend Ranch is so tender and has a better flavor. Well, we start with using Black Angus beef, which is famous for its great flavor. But we've taken Angus beef to a whole new level. 'Cause for 35 years, we found special Angus cattle that greatly excel in flavor and tenderness to use as our breeding stock. And we provide Angus bulls containing these special genetics to over 200 U.S. ranches who partner with us to produce cattle without growth hormones or antibiotics. So when you purchase our beef, you're supporting hundreds of U.S. ranching families who take pride in producing America's most flavorful beef. And to top it off, we age our beef for 21 days. And that makes all the difference. RiverbendRanch.com. Real American beef.
This holiday, Skechers has the perfect gift for everyone. Hands-free, cozy fit Skechers slip-ins. Just step in and go with no bending down or touching. Grandma's going hands-free. The kids are going hands-free. Even the big guy's going hands-free. Give everybody hands-free cozy fit Skechers slip-ins for Christmas.
Silver is the precious metal of the future. Judge Napolitano here. Since 2020, the silver price has risen as much as 190%. Why? In each of the last 4 years, rising demand for solar and electric vehicles alone has put silver supply into a deficit. But now there's another industry. AI, data centers, robots, and quantum computing could require so much silver that silver supplies could be obliterated.
Could silver rise another 190% within 5 years? Find out in this new report, The AI Revolution.
I bought silver and my investment is up 85%. With billions being poured into AI, it makes sense to consider silver.
Call Lear Capital to get your free report, The AI Revolution, and see why it could bring record high silver. And with a qualified purchase, get up to $20,000 in bonus silver. Call 800-654-1010. 800-654-1010. 800-654-1010.
For the perfect present, the perfect place is your local Ace. This Christmas, order online and we'll deliver same day, or have it ready for pickup in 15 minutes. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. A deal with the Saudis? From seeking Mideast peace to enhancing America's future. Jesse goes inside Trump's meeting with the Crown Prince tonight on a must-see primetime.
Templeton ETFs. With over 70 ETFs, we have solutions for every market, helping advisors build the portfolios of the future today. Franklin Templeton, your trusted partner for what's ahead. Franklin Templeton Custom Tax Management. Easily create custom SMAs with our Canvas platform and help investors keep more of what they earn. Franklin Templeton, your trusted partner for what's ahead.
What does $10 really get you? A soda and snack? A stream and a slice? Or a brand new ride? Skip the soda and lease the new 2025 Trax for only $10 a day and $0 down during the Red Tag sales event. All the tech, all the style, for less than you spend on basically anything. Larry H. Miller Chevrolet Murray. Online at lhmchevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Chevy means more trucks, big trucks, little trucks, certified trucks. We've got them all. Get Chevy ready at Larry H. Miller Chevy Murray and get 3 years of complimentary maintenance when you buy or lease a new Chevy during the Red Tag sales event going on now. Plus, save up to $13,500 off MSRP on the new 2025 Chevy Silverado 1500 or lease a 2025 for only $335 a month plus $0 down. If you're Chevy ready for all that, don't wait. Visit in-store or online at ChevyReady.com. Together, let's...
Logan, watch this.
We're also making incredible strides to make America affordable again. That's a new word that they're using, affordability. We're bringing prices down, but they came up with a new word, affordability. And they look at the... We are all about affordability.
Fox Business anchor David Asman joins me now. David, so he's, showing the bridge between these things, between bringing in foreign investment and American jobs. There's opinions on that and how that's going to work. This is Jim Vandehei this morning with his take on what we've been watching. Watch this.
If you're in MAGA and you're America first, what the hell are you thinking today? That working class white voter who put you into office, and they're frustrated. Every issue that they care about, including things being really expensive and them being very worried about whether they're going to get a job or their kid's going to get out of college and enter the worst job market that we've seen in 5 or 10 years, not even really discussed.
Well, first of all, nobody knows if it's a good or bad job market right now because we had the Schumer shutdown.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
we're going to find out what the numbers are. There's a certain amount of truth to what he's saying, which is that these